Are we live? I think we're live. All right. Well, let's get ready to ramble, guys. What's up? How was everybody's week? I hope it was just as good as mine was. We had a lot going on last week. I wish there was something like over the top to write home about and tell you all about, but really, it was just a lot of enjoying the outdoors. A lot of working outside. I love working outside. And so when I say working outside, yeah, it was work, but any excuse to be outside, I am all about. So that's what we were doing. Looks like a couple of y'all are hopping on here. Jathan, what's up? Glad you're on here. Adam, glad you're here. Cowboy Jeff and Max joined in early. Glad y'all are on here. And it looks like we want to talk a little bit about trail cam, so we'll get into that in just a minute. Colton, what's up? Glad you're on here. I am joining you tonight with a very sleepy dog. He's like right there. I think you can maybe see, or that might be a shadow. Anyway, Monty's here too, but yeah, he's worn slap out because he went on a couple of adventures today, and I'm hoping this means he sleeps through the entire night and doesn't wake me up at 5 a.m. Because while I like to think I'm a morning person, I'm definitely not a 5 a.m. person. Um, and he wakes me up every morning right around 5 and thinks it's time to eat breakfast. And it's not. It never is, but we try it every day. So I'm hoping he sleeps in since I wore him out today. But yeah, and he got to play with Roxy and Artley today too, which is always a good time. And he graduated from his puppy collar and puppy leash into his big boy collar and big boy leash. So it's a happy day. It's a happy Tuesday. Um, but yeah, what about y'all? What did y'all do all week? Any exciting things to share? Anybody get into something fun before we start rambling about who knows what and whatever else? Hootie Who's on here. What's up? Wait till Sunday daylight. Is it already daylight savings? Really? For some reason, I thought that was April. Also, I thought there was something that went to Congress where they were going to get rid of daylight savings, and then Nancy Pelosi like shoved that to the side or something. Bought 3 new guns today. Yeah, that's a good Tuesday. How about 513? Like sleeping in then. Yeah, he tries that too, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Also, every time I take him out to go to the bathroom, he runs back inside and thinks I'm going to feed him. I don't know why. I never do, but the dog tries. You can't blame him for trying. He almost did get 2 lunches the other day because I didn't realize Chad had fed him, but yeah. You know he hears you, so now he's gonna get up extra early. Yeah, I hope he doesn't. Um, hope he doesn't. Okay, so y'all are talking about cams too. So cell cams. We'll dive into this quickly here. So I've used a few. I've never had a cell cam before until I got I can't remember how many lives ago this was. Sometime last fall. I told y'all I got a couple of cell cams from Wild Game Innovations, and truthfully, I never got those set up, but I have them to set up, and that's this week. I finally figured out where I want to put them all because I know where the deer are coming. I also have enough that I'm going to be putting some next to the ducks and in certain spots that I want to make sure I know what's eating their food or what's getting in their cages, because we had a really rough winter and ended up losing quite a bit of our ducks. We've got coyotes, bobcats, and who knows what else that took quite a few of them out. So yeah, it's been a rough few months for them. But the last couple of weeks, I've been reinforcing pens and changing up how we're doing things. And now I'm going to get cameras out there so we know exactly what's going on. We had night vision out, but it was old night vision, and this cat-like critter sure looked weird in that night vision. So yeah. Anyway, so the ones I started with, I have still in the box. Beautiful, but it's in the box, and I need to get this set up. So I have a Terracell. This is a WGI camera. It takes AA batteries. They're supposed to last up to 6 months. Of course, we're going to try that out. I also got a couple of their Encounter 2.0s, and the cool part about these ones, I have the solar panels that can go with them too, so I don't have to worry about battery changes. Fingers crossed this all works, and fingers crossed I can figure out how to set it all up, because that's also a hurdle. Or that I get distracted and don't finish setting it up. All hurdles. But I'm really excited to get these things set up. I got enough of the the solar panels that I can also set up the feeders with them. So those will be running on solar. Some of my game cameras will be running on solar. Some of them I'll still keep batteries in certain ones. But the cell cams, I wanted to try to get them all set up on solar so that you don't have to worry about changing the batteries so much. Also, yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. In addition to the ones I got from WGI, also got a few from Stealth Cam because I have never until last year really gotten much from WGI, but I was familiar with Stealth Cam, so I'm trying out theirs as well, and we'll get some set up on the home property and some set up where we hunt deer and see what we can capture. I will say I have one. It's not a cell cam, and I cannot for the life of me right the second remember which model it is, but I do have a stealth cam set up at the house right now. And I set it up. We moved it around a few times last year because we have a lot of deer in the yard. And I kind of enjoy seeing what they do. And every time we move the camera, they would like go find it and kind of stick their faces in it. I went to check the camera. And I wish I had saved this picture, but I went to check the camera and there's like deer leg, squirrel doing something. And then I see a raccoon, and the raccoon's like inching closer to the camera. And then next thing I know, like you see the raccoon lift its leg and pee on the camera, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. This happened early this morning at 3 a.m. and now I'm playing with this camera. So let's go wash my hands. But um, I don't know why. I don't know why. Anytime we move that camera around, the animals like go find it. It's just really interesting. There was also this one spot in the yard where we had it set up like low on the ground, and the deer would like always stand in this one spot and pose. But yeah, I wish I had saved some more of those pictures. Found out we have a lot of armadillo though, which I kind of already knew we did. Unfortunately, yeah, Colton, it was gross. Jathan, thanks for laughing. But yeah, so I've got a lot of cameras to try out, and yeah, hooty hoo, they are unfortunately expensive, especially for some of the cell cams. And that's why, like, I mean, I hope I'm able to give y'all some good feedback on them because if you are going to spend the money on something, you want to make sure it's something that's going to work. And cell cameras, I am hoping are going to be game changing, where I can actually like check in on them. And see what's going on out there, especially for some of the property that's further out. So I don't have to go out there, check the memory card, see when it was. If I can just check it on the app on my phone, it'll be a whole lot nicer. And so I also just recently got on Hunt Stand. It's an app that you can map out areas that you hunt or your homestead, like whatever you want to do with it. But you can map it out, put where you have feeders, where you have food plots, where you have cameras set up, where you have stands set up, like map everything out, and it gives you information for hunting. I will also be using it for other things, but pretty cool. It also reminded me about shed hunting and stuff too. It gives you little tips and freebie stuff similar to other apps, but I'm still learning a lot about that as well. I had never used a hunting app until I went on a hunt in Michigan for grouse and woodcock. And the guide was using an app, and he was kind of showing us. I wish I could remember which one he was using, but it was cool. You could see the land. Like if you were going to be entering a property, you'd know whose it was. We don't have public land here, but yeah, it would basically give you the information so you know if you're hunting in a place that you can or not. But also, I don't know how in depth that particular app got, but this one gives you the opportunity to place stands, figure out your own property. So pretty cool, I think. I'm excited to use it and see how it goes. But yeah. JC, I don't know what you said, but I'm glad you're here. So, Onyx Hunt. Okay, yeah, I have heard of Onyx. I have never tried that one before. But I'm excited about trying Hunt Stand. Maybe I'll try Onyx as well. Every now and then he kind of snores a little bit, which is kind of funny. I'm also rocking my Fireball Dudes hat tonight, which I'm pretty excited about having and finding and wearing. Fireball dudes are the ones that helped me out at the machine gun shoot and did this spectacular pyro. I love fire, if y'all didn't know. So all the explosions and stuff that we had at the machine gun shoot, that was Fireball dudes. And if you look them up, I cannot remember if it was successful or not off right now because you know how my brain is on Tuesdays. But these guys do some crazy explosions and some crazy, crazy, crazy work. So if y'all like fire and you like looking at fireballs and whatnot, Fireball dudes. And they gave me a hat, so obviously they're my best friends. Fireball dudes, that sounds like a bunch of fun. Yeah, my kind of people for sure. Hello, Rachel and everyone. How are you tonight? I'm doing well. It's a happy Tuesday. What's new about the podcast and will your sister be there? Okay, so podcasting. I don't really have a huge update there, except I've been brainstorming names specifically on the more Hooters restaurant related one. Been thinking about that one a lot because I still just think that there's a lot that can go on there. And an endless pit of girls that I can have on there to talk about everything that used to go on, all the shenanigans from back in the day, and all the like failed marketing attempts. And there's a lot to uncover there. So I've been brainstorming names. And you know, obviously, I don't really know the legalities of like naming something. Like if I could name it after old slogans like delightfully tacky yet unrefined, because I love that. And I did look up, there's already a podcast called Unrefined. So I'm still thinking of names, but I am still trying to get that set up. And I need to call Bill back and make him talk to me about mics and stuff. Other than that, I've just been reading about what people get for podcasting. And I don't want to buy stuff that I don't need. But I obviously need a lot because never done it before and really don't have any idea what I'm doing. But I do know some editors that can help me get all this set up. So not a huge update yet. As far as my sister, I don't know what her involvement's going to be. She just recently started a job that she loves too. So I'm not sure, but maybe I can maybe drag her on there. Also, cheers to hydration. I'm already caffeinated tonight, so it's just water for me. But that is not my typical Tuesday self because I usually show up here tired for y'all. And I'm not tonight. We've been hitting the gym this week, which has been amazing. Back to like kind of how it used to be. So I actually have energy, which is crazy. I'm gonna copy that. Sorry. Excuse me. Thank you, Cowboy Jeff. I'm making notes here. Or at least I'm trying to. Hopefully this doesn't make me disappear. And yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I really have no idea what people use for podcasting. But I have the space and I started cleaning it out right now. This space is also where Dixie primarily spends her time. So she's been enjoying all the extra moments I've been hanging out with her. How was my sister tonight? My sister's probably sleeping tonight, but I think she's doing well. Yeah, well, okay, so we talked a little bit about game cameras. I wish I had a lot more information for you. But I will soon, as soon as I get these set up. I'm excited. We've got a lot of stuff to change, around the ducks and the chickens. We have chickens right now too. I've got a bunch of little chicks and they are precious. 9. There were supposed to be 10, but one of them did not make it in shipping. These came mail order, which it kind of sketches me out, but I'm glad that most of them made it safely. They're absolutely precious and they're growing so fast. They're already jumping out of their little pen in their brooding room, but very beautiful. And we also have 3 duck eggs that are probably a week away from hatching. I used to share a lot of this, and I think we may have talked about this last week, but I used to share little updates and like pictures of like when you candle the eggs, you can see the little chicks inside of them, and you can actually at points closer to when they hatch, you can actually hear them peeping, which is really cool. I've always loved it, and it's like scientific and just neat. But you can actually like see it looks like nothing for a couple of days, and then you see the veins sprout out, and then usually it's like a 28-day cycle for ducks, and so it's just pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch. But yeah, we're about 7 days probably until these little guys hatch. And they're mystery ducks. I have no idea what's going to pop out of them. I'm guessing mallard, but if anybody else wants to take a guess, let me know. I know for sure it's not wood duck because the eggs are too big, and typically you don't mess with wood duck nests. However, the people at this state park that gave me these eggs did. So they messed with a few nests and pulled eggs while they were trying to clean them up. So Max, you grew up with chickens. That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people are getting chickens right now, which I think is awesome too. But it's interesting because you see a bunch of these like Gucci chicken houses where like people have their home offices and their chicken coops, and it's like, do you know how gross chickens are? They're kind of disgusting. Like, why would you want to put your office in your chicken coop? Not for me. And all these people that have never had chickens, like, I don't know. I don't want to hate on them because what they're doing is awesome, and I'm glad they're experiencing it. But it's just really interesting to see like the rise in these small, um, I don't even know, they're not really small farms, but it's just cool. I'm glad people are taking an interest in uh in making providing their own food and raising chickens, and I think it would be very cool. We don't have kids at the moment, um, but I think it'd be very cool to like grow up that way. So yeah, I think it's pretty neat. But again, not I feel like the home office and the chicken coop just probably isn't a good idea either because they just don't smell good. No matter how much you clean your chicken coop, it's just not gonna smell good. Lately, I've been surprised by how many coworkers I have that have bees and chickens. Interesting. Bees is something that I like go back and forth on, right? So my brother is very allergic to bees. Very, very allergic. There was a couple of incidences when we were kids with the whole anaphylactic shock situations and whatnot, and absolutely terrifying to think about. So I had never been stung until maybe it was Knob Creek like 4 or 5 years ago. I got stung by a wasp and it wasn't bad. And then I got stung last year by yellow jackets, and I thought everything was okay until the next day my leg swelled up twice the size and was like red and hot and scary. And I thought I was fine. I also got stung on my hand, on my ring finger. So I took my wedding ring off, and everything looked fine after a couple hours. So I put it back on. The next morning, my finger was swollen to where I thought my ring was going to cut my finger off. Like it was so ridiculously big. My hand was so swollen that, like you have little lines on your hands, just in general. Like, I don't know. I could barely bend my fingers, and then my hand was so swollen that like it was completely smooth. There was no little bends in my hand. Anyway, um, and then the same for like my lower leg. Everything was swollen. So I'm kind of worried because I talked to my brother, and that's what happened to him. He got stung the first time, it was okay. A second time, he swelled, and then the third time, he went into anaphylactic shock. So I'm kind of hyper paranoid about getting into yellow jackets again because my husband and I both got into them the first time, and then a few weeks later, they had moved areas, and he got into another nest, but I was not there, thankfully. He gets stung, and I think he's like Wolverine or something because he gets stung and then it's gone in like an hour and he's just fine. Same for like bruises. Not to talk about my husband too much, but he'll get like a bruise. He almost never bruises, but when he does get a bruise, it's gone in like a day and it never turns like bruise color. It only turns like yellow and then it goes away. So I'm pretty sure he's like a werewolf or Wolverine or something. I don't know. I think it is a full moon tonight though. So. Yikes, I don't think I've ever been stung by a bee before either. Well, I hope you don't get stung by a bee because it isn't pleasant. Try mowing over yellow jackets. If I mow over them, are they gonna just like attack me? Because that wouldn't be fun. We sprayed them. We sprayed them last year, and then I'm thinking this year I may flamethrow the area that I knew they were in just in case. I haven't seen any activity, and we had a really good freeze this year. As far, well, actually, kind of a hard winter for Georgia. We had like I think it was 8 days of frozen and like 3 of a hard freeze. So I'm hoping that kind of took care of them because from what I understand, the nest will die down to like just the queen. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I think I started talking about this. So we've been doing a lot of yard work recently. Um, Hoping to get a fence here soon so Monty can run around. This dog is so tired. Usually, if I'm talking, like he's awake, but he's dead to the world. But yeah, so we're hoping to get a fence soon, and there's a few more trees that I need to get cut down before then. So I've been doing that here and there, and then I've been helping my parents out. They've got I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with mimosas, the plant. I love them. They're tree like, and they have beautiful little pink flowers, and they're fuzzy, and they smell good, but they are incredibly aggressive. Their root systems are insane, and they spread so much between between mimosas and privet and like Bradford pears and pine trees around here. Like it could take over a property so quick. So I've been helping them fight mimosas and cut them back because when it's very hard to kill them. If you cut them all back, they're going to grow back and it's going to be pretty, but it won't be massive like theirs are now. And then same the privet, got to get that out. But because we've been doing so much chainsawing, number one, I've gotten a lot more chainsaw experience with which I love. I feel like I've definitely learned a lot, and I've definitely blown through this last chain. I think I've sharpened it like 3 times now. And that also means that there is quite a bit of stuff that needs some attention from a certain flamethrower. So it's going to be a couple of really fun weeks here soon. At least I think they're really fun. It's also going to be a cold week next week. So yeah, even better reason to use the flamethrower. But yeah. What about y'all? Oh, also, it is very much tick season here. I don't know about where you're from, but yeah, Georgia tick season has officially kicked off. And I am hoping to not ever be bit by one again because we've got this ugly little thing called alpha gal here that travels on ticks and can make it to where you have allergic reactions to mammal meat. And I don't want any part of that because your girl likes steak. I remember the last time I visited the Carolinas and I saw this vine stuff and all the trees um, off the sides of the roads. Do you guys have that there, George? Are you talking about kudzu? I feel like you must be talking about kudzu. Colton, where are you from? I'm waiting. That's the only thing I can guess, though. It's probably kudzu. And yes, we do have, if that's what you're talking about, we do have kudzu here. Unfortunately, it's invasive as well. I know people used to like have goats on a rope that they would rent to eat the kudzu out of areas. Otherwise, I feel like the flamethrower would be very good for that as well. Um, yeah, it might have been. I'm in Utah, but my uncle. Yeah, okay, it probably was kudzu. I can't imagine you would ever see that in Utah. But we do have kudzu unfortunately around here and it's very aggressive. From what I understand, it spreads rapidly. Like they I don't I've never seen this, but they used to like tell us stories when we were kids that if you got left in the car while your parents went into a restaurant or something, then the kudzu could grow over the car while you're in there. And I think that might have been like a stretch or like an imagination thing, but yeah, we definitely have that and it's not good. It'll choke out the trees, obviously, and take over everything. So, But we also have other stuff that grows like that too. So I don't know a whole lot about plants, but I'm trying to soak it in because my mother-in-law is a master gardener and my sister is a naturalist. So between the two of them, I hear about plants that look pretty and about plants that are invasive. And unfortunately, a lot of gardeners and landscaping businesses put in invasive species that look nice, but they aren't from here and aren't good for our wildlife, and also take over yards and areas of, yeah, of everything, like privet is invasive, um, and while it looks nice as a tree or a bush, it spreads incredibly fast and it's hard to get rid of, and yeah, pops up everywhere. Minnesota just had a blizzard. What? We started talking about ticks, and like my hair keeps tickling my back, so I keep like flinching. I don't like ticks. They're creepy, crawly, and ugly, and don't like them at all. Um, yeah, I've already seen like 3 or 4 around here. But we also have so many deer that, I mean, they just ride on them, and yeah, unfortunately, we have them all the time. We also have seed ticks. I don't know if y'all have ever gotten into those. Horrible, 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 horrible. I have a story about seed ticks, but I might save that for another day. Um, I like your STG U9 video. I'm thinking about getting one now. 15K is just a lot, but I came to the US for a Second Amendment, and so I may just convince myself. Alexander, if I can give you any encouragement there, I think it's worth every bit of money that you're going to pay for that, honestly. And you're not going to find a transferable machine gun for a better price. So, just saying. Especially for what you get from BRP. Um, and depending on which package you do, so the U9 SF, you can get it like where it's caliber converting, and just it's Brian's doing great things over there, so I highly encourage that. Ticks are in the same class as spiders. Are they really in the same class as spiders, or like same class as far as how you feel about them? We we also have I think a tick museum here in Georgia, down I think in Statesboro. We got all kinds of ticks around here, and they're gross. Also, Alexander, thanks for liking that video. I appreciate that. We had a lot of fun with it. Honestly, a lot of fun anytime we have that thing out. But um, on that note, too, we have the STG U9 SF. We also have the 27. Excuse me. The I don't even know what he calls it. 28. 28 A1. I don't know. It's BRP's STG. But the 1928. But you can get it to where it looks like either, and it takes drums and stick mags from a Thompson, and it's wonderful. And it brings up a lot of a lot of controversial comments about people thinking that you destroyed a Thompson, even though it's not a Thompson. We put optics on it and other accessories that people are like, why would you ever put that on a Thompson? Well, it's not a Thompson, and you can deck it out however you want, and it's yours. So I love it. I love how giant these water cups are. Yeah, okay, so I don't have a whole lot of stuff to share with y'all tonight, unfortunately, but we can talk about a few dates that are coming up, right? So this weekend here in Georgia, we have a Falling Steel match and Ladies Invasion over at South River that I'm super excited about. It's Saturday, Sunday. I unfortunately am not going to be shooting in it because I completely missed the sign up for it, so that was unfortunate. But I am going to stop by because I would like to talk to some of the folks at South River and just see who all is coming in town for the ladies' invasion, because it should be a good group of women. And I think I know quite a few of them. So I don't know. I'm gonna at least stop by. I'm excited. Next time I'm shooting it though. I had meant to do that, but I was in a funk like the entire month of February and completely forgot to sign up, even though my brother tried to remind me 3 times. Goodness. I got the hiccups. What are your thoughts on semi-auto belt feds? I've wanted a 308 MG42 for a while now. Look, I love them. So we obviously do quite a bit with full auto, right? We also do quite a bit with semi-auto. So we've got a semi-auto M2, a semi-auto 1919. We don't have a semi-auto MG42, but that would be cool. I'd say get it. I mean, if that's something you want, why not? There's also man, my brain is blank. Fight Light has a belt fed upper. You can get that for Rachel, what are your thoughts on 50 cal? Excuse me. 50 cal what? Anyway, back to Fight Light. Fight Light has a belt fed upper. Not 308 though. But what else? What else can we do? I think that's all of our semi-auto belt feds. I have parts too to build out a 1919 semi, and I've got like a rapid fire shroud for it and everything. Some of the scores that I found at Knob Creek back in the day, so that's on my list to build, and I will be just as happy if it's semi-auto. BRP has one too, MG42 and MG3. That's awesome. Yeah, Brian's got a lot of stuff. So we've been able to go. I know him from Knob Creek, and then obviously they're in Georgia as well. And I've gotten to visit his shop a few times, and it is always fun. I actually came home with the crate that I use as a coffee table now, I think came from his shop. I should probably tell him that next time I see him. JC 50 cal rifles. I mean, that's a good time, right? I don't know what you're looking for as far as thoughts. I don't have a whole ton of experience with 50 cals as far as like taking. So I'm last year I shot out to the furthest I ever have, which was 1480, I believe. Out at front sight, out at gun sight. Man, okay, I know I said I had caffeine, but my brain is like totally blanking. Prescott, Arizona. I think it was gun sight. Um, as far as 50 cal though, I mean we have a few. We shoot them primarily on short distance ranges because that's all we have here in Georgia. Unless you travel a few hours down south or a few hours up north to areas that you can shoot out to 1400, or in South Georgia we have a place you can shoot out past a mile. But I don't really know where you're looking at. I enjoy shooting 50 cal. It's definitely a thrill. The recoil is something else. We also have a suppressor for a 50 cal, which completely changes everything on it. I shot a couple of suppressed 50s, and um, obviously there are better suppressors. So the one I'm talking about in particular is a Zell Customs 50 cal conversion for an AR platform, and that is something interesting. Super easy to stand and shoot. Again, I don't know why you would, maybe unless you're shooting like a dinosaur. That's kind of what I think in my mind it would be for. It's like a pterodactyl or a triceratops if you're going to shoot it in the eye. We're really rambling tonight, but okay, JC, we got clarification on what you're looking for here. I meant, do you like shooting them? Yes, I do. It's a thrill. And would I own one? Absolutely, 100%. There are a couple that I have my eyes on. So yes, easy, yes. Easy, yes. And if you've never shot one, I think it's just like one of those experiences that I think you need to do. Um, even if you're, a lot of rental ranges have them. I cannot imagine shooting one in an indoor range. However, I have been at an indoor range with somebody, and it's always worse when you're standing next to them instead of like the one behind the gun. Um, but it's still an experience. If you've never gotten to shoot a 50 cal, 10 for 10, you need to find yourself one to try. And that was a 10 for 10 would recommend that you find one to try. Okay, so other dates. We talked about Falling Steel. That's coming up this weekend. We also have The Gathering, which is open to the public, I believe, in um, in South Carolina at where Clinton. It's Clinton, South Carolina, 24th, 25th of March. Open to the public, I believe. I'm gonna be there one of those days. So excited to be out there for that. I also have a big birthday coming up, like right after that. Unfortunately, I think my birthday's on a Monday this year, so that's unfortunate. But there's a lot of unfortunates in one sentence. But that's okay. We're gonna make that Monday the best Monday ever. And then following that, I'm heading to WrestleMania, which I'm very excited about. Finally getting to make it out for that event. I bought tickets in 2020, and obviously they ended up canceling that. So we're finally getting to go 2023 WrestleMania out in California, which should be very interesting. Um, and then NRA's annual meeting, I'm going to be out there for that. It's always a good event. It's going to be out in Indy this year. So if anybody's going to be there, let me know, or come by and see me. I don't know where I'm going to be yet, but I will let you know when I do find a place to land. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of friendly faces out there for that. So what's a Barrett like? Oh, which one? I've shot quite a few Barretts. Very fun. 50 cals are addictive fun. Yeah, they are. And it's a little expensive addictive fun though. Um very easy to run through ammo at depending on where you get the ammo, somewhere between $4 to $10 a shot, depending on what you're shooting and if somebody tried to price gouge you, but very fun. Would you try airsoft or go to an airsoft with a group? Yeah, so I actually went to an airsoft event last year that Alexandra and Jade and Rex, Call of Duty Rex, Tactical Taz, all of them were at. It was quite a few of the Call of Duty characters were there, but it was here in Georgia, and I went out there for that. I did not go and get to shoot. I was really only there for a few hours because I found out quite a few of my friends were going to be there, so I wanted to stop by. But that place, I think it was called SS Airsoft. Um, I'll have to look that up. It was like not what I was expecting for an airsoft place. Like it was awesome. They had like a life-size tank built inside of there and like a whole city and just a really cool area that you could watch from the outside, everything that was going on inside. And like they had the big ass fans, I think is the brand name. Excuse me, I usually don't use any kind of foul language, save it for moments of high enthusiasm. But that's the name of it. So yeah, they had the big fans, and they made it look like helicopters that were coming down. It was a really, really, really cool place. I want to go back there, and I want to play airsoft. And I actually kind of want to bring my dad because I think he would have a lot of fun too. Also, the people that were there and the airsoft gear that they have, it is so crazy. It's really interesting. It's really interesting what all they're doing. So, yeah, I would absolutely do that again. I was a track commander, so Modus was what I had to qualify on. I hit 1600 and dang, that's awesome. Take the cap off and let's see your face. My face is sleepy, but it's here. And yeah, no, it's gonna stay on tonight though, because it's hair washing day. So maybe next week. It is kind of dark under there, though. Mom, you still sleeping? Dog is out. I got to meet Alex a couple weeks ago in Vegas. Definitely fangirled a bit. That's awesome. She's a lot of fun. I am hoping this year I am gonna get out to see her and she's gonna teach me how to surf. So fingers crossed. If she does, I will try to get a video of it and hopefully I won't die or get eaten by a shark or anything else that could happen. But I've been wanting to do that for a while, so hopefully we'll get to do that this year. That's the plan. Well, it looks like you're hiding. I'm not really hiding. I'm just hiding my dirty hair. Come on, it's only money. What else am I gonna do if they give it to my kids? Nah, I'll buy the gun. Rachel, show us your RBF. I'm too smiley for that. How about backwards? I mean, I guess I could have done that too, but we're just messing with the hair now, guys. Let's just leave it alone. Next week, I'll show my face, I promise. Plus, it's almost time to, it's, what time is it? Oh, it's almost 11. Yeah, it's almost time to sign off of here. So anyway, important dates that we were talking about: Falling Steel, Ladies Invasion this weekend. Oh shoot, the next weekend is St. Patrick's Day too, which is gonna be a lot of fun. You have a skater chick look going. Do I? I have a fireball dude's look going. We're talking explosions here. Yeah, anyway, St. Patty's Day, which I think I am going to be spending in Savannah, second year in a row, hopefully with my Nine Line friends. And excited about that. I'll know for sure next week. Rachel, you're the best to hang out with. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're on here. I thought you always wear hats. Adam, I don't actually normally wear hats almost ever. But the last couple of weeks I've like I said, we've been doing so much yard work around here. And your girl's head sweating because I've also been like wearing a hard hat with all the trees I've been dropping. I've been trying to wear my safety gear responsibly because every time I post something with a chainsaw, I get, "Where's your chainsaw, chaps? Why don't you have a helmet on? Why don't you have this on? Why don't you have this on?" So I've been trying to actually be responsible with that. Plus, a lot of the trees I've been cutting down have actually been pretty tall, and with the mimosas, they bounce a lot, so unpredictable kind of where they're gonna fall. So, um, yeah, I've been wearing my safety gear, which also doesn't do a lot for the hair, but yeah. Anyway, not gonna worry about that. I don't always wear hats, and I might not wear a hat next week. We'll see. Um, St. Patty's Day in Savannah is a great time, third largest in the US. It was so much fun last year. I was down there with the Nine Line team, and then we had Call of Duty Rex, Tactical Taz, Amanda, Julia, Drunk 3PO. Who else was there? Jake the Viking. There was a whole bunch of us stuck in a house together, and it was so much fun. Julia and I were rooming together, and we were like up in this like creepy attic. And at first, I could have sworn it was haunted, and then I think that it ended up just being some of the other people in the house that were like sneaking up there and moving furniture around. But yeah, it very likely could have probably still been haunted. But there was like a really creepy elevator, like old elevator in this house, and then there were stories about like kids dying in the house. And so I actually did a podcast. Oh shoot. I'll have to look up a link for that and share it. But I actually did a podcast, and in the podcast, I was talking about how this house was haunted, and I made Julia sit in the room with me while I did it because I didn't want to be stuck up there by myself. And on the podcast, they were editing it, and they were like, you were talking about the house being haunted, and we actually found this little part where you can like hear somebody say something. And it kind of freaked me out. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. But yeah, because there was one point where they had asked a question, but I didn't hear them, and then They asked again, so there was like an awkward silence. But yeah, totally could have been haunted. Anyway, Savannah is a great time. And you cut your own hair and you want to help me out. I don't think so. I don't love getting my hair cut, and I'm very I can't even tell you the last time I did get my hair cut. And I probably need to do that soon, or I'll cut it myself. I did that for a long time. I'd cut my own hair. But anyway, Brandon, any collab coming with like Demo Ranch or others? I Demo Ranch would be probably a hard one to collab with, but how cool would that be? As far as other folks to collab with, who knows? Hopefully, there's a lot of opportunity this year, so we'll see. Like I said, potentially if I actually do get to go learn how to surf, that'd be cool. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds, because that would be pretty cool. Savannah is my wife's name, so every time I hear that name, I have to remember other things and people have that name. Yeah, they definitely do. Savannah's a pretty name though. Colton, yeah, it was freaky. I think I already acknowledged that, but thinking back to it, very freaky. Um, yeah. Well, I mean, I think I may wrap it up here tonight and have some more exciting things to talk about with y'all next Thursday. Thursday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Thursday is St. Patrick. No, Friday is St. Patrick's Day. What day is it? um, you're close to Matthias in May. Yeah, they're actually not far from here. They're actually not far from here. Friday is St. Patty's Day. Thanks for keeping up with things for me, guys. I appreciate y'all. Um, I will say, up in that attic too. Now that I'm reading comments, thinking back to that little attic, there was like the creepiest little shower up there. Really beautiful house though. Really nice spot. It was right downtown Savannah on Bay Street. So we had like front row to the parade and everything. It was a good time. Um, I will have to remember that. I cannot believe it's already daylight savings time. Also, I kind of like that because I will get more of an evening. I don't love how early it gets dark, so I wish y'all could see my dog right now. He's upside down. All right, I guess that means it's really bedtime. I think the girls with guns crew need to visit Demo Ranch if Mayor approves. I don't know who's on the Girls with Guns crew anymore, but that would be cool, wouldn't it? 4:30 wake up. Nope, can't do that. Dale, are you just joining? Because I was about to sign off over here next week. All right, well, I am going to sign off, guys. Thank you so much. At least we didn't have a traumatic ending like we did last week with Dixie and her unfortunate timing. I did not bring her out this time because I'm still mad at her for that. But yeah, I appreciate you all being on here and talking with me tonight. And I will see you all next Tuesday for some more rambling. I think we did a really good job of living up to the name tonight. But yeah, and this is 3 times, right? 3 times in a row. 3 times a charm. Does this mean it's a habit or what? I don't know if it counts if it's once a week or if it has to be 3 times, like 3 times in a row. But whatever. 3 times in a row, score. We're doing this back to our typical Tuesdays. And yeah, I appreciate y'all being on here. So hope you all have a great night and have a really wonderful week. And I'm looking forward to talking with y'all next week. So good night. I'll check y'all later.